Pranakasha live stream. Hey folks, it's Matt at Pranakasha Productions, and today we are talking with Aungelique Scott, incredibly talented singer, entertainer, and actress who will be in an upcoming episode of Space Command. Ta-da! Stay tuned. So Aungelique and I know each other. We've met at one lunch, right? We met in San Diego. Yes. And then we also saw each other again at another luncheon right out across the street from the Warner Brothers lot. And then we've also emailed each other back and forth, having to do with Space Command. And now here we are.
Yes.
Though I recently found out that Aungelique is a singer, and I've heard her sing live, and it sounds really good. So,
Thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Love to have you. So now I want to know all this stuff. I guess there's a whole story that you wanted to tell about how you moved to LA.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, let's hear a bit of that.
Yeah, so prior to graduating college, I didn't know if I was going to go to Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. I was still trying to figure out where I was going to go after college. I have my background in theater and graduated with my theater degree. So,
what college was that?
Actually, I went to Kent State University.
Which one?
Kent State University. It's in Kent, Ohio. So that is where I went to college and graduated magna cum laude and earned my BA in theater studies.
All right.
So after college, I was part of an international talent expo that took place in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
My parents were very supportive and they went with me to Dallas, Texas to this event. Prior to going to this event, I enrolled in 5 different competitions and prepped like crazy. So I was in Best Two-Person Scene, singing, dancing, monologue, and went to the competition, and I choreographed my own dance routine for that particular competition. And it was a 5-day event.
Wow.
And the last day they gave awards. And I found out that I was first place for Best Two-Person Scene, Best Singer, Best Dance, and first place runner-up for Best Monologue.
Wow.
And the benefit of this particular expo that my parents helped me with and were so supportive in going with me to was that there were talent scouts that were there.
Oh, cool.
So there was a few talent scouts that wanted to meet with me at the expo. Some from New York, some from Chicago, but there was one in particular from Los Angeles. My focus definitely was television and film, and it still is. So there was a representative from Los Angeles that was at this expo in Dallas, Texas, and she met with my parents and I and wanted to sign me. So that is how I ended up in Los Angeles with the amazing support from my family and my mom and dad, and that's how I ended up in LA.
That's exciting.
Thank you.
Whew. Yeah, I don't know if I told you, but I lived in Ann Arbor, Michigan when I was a kid.
Oh,
did I tell you that?
You didn't tell me that. No.
Yeah, my parents went to the U of M. So, of course, that's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Ohio. And, of course, you know about Ohio State and Michigan always have this giant rivalry, the football teams.
Oh, yeah. The football teams there, they have a major rivalry. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's wild. I was also in Cleveland. Several years ago, my mom got a heart valve replacement. Wow. So she had it done at the Cleveland Medical Center.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever seen that place, but it's just like...
I have seen it.
Super modern.
Yes, I have family that live in Cleveland. So I've definitely been to the Cleveland area and everything. So... Wow.
Okay. Well,
I love the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Have you been there yet? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
When I was there, I didn't get to do any touristy stuff because it's pretty much just there for the week, taking care of my mom.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a vacation. It was really just to help her through her operation, and it all worked out fine. She's still got the same valve, and it's still doing good.
Good. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful, man. I'm happy to hear that. Well, one day, if you
Yeah.
ever get a chance to go back to Ohio or in the Cleveland area, definitely check out Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay. I will.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Okay, that sounds cool. Wow. Well, you sent me your link to your Instagram, and I saw a lot of things in there. And there was you sang the Schubert Ave Maria a cappella,
Yes.
which was really beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
then you also there was also one I listened to, which was I think it was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Was
Yes,
that
have
it?
yourself a merry little Christmas. I love the holidays.
Yeah.
Christmas time is favorite time of year. So, of course, when the pandemic hit, I began to do a lot of kind of cover videos here from home, and Ave Maria and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas were two of those covers that I did.
Yeah. Really, really well done.
Thank
And
you so much. I appreciate it.
those really stood out. And then also on your Instagram, there was a short video of you doing some cosplay stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which was really well done. Was that it was done with a
Yeah.
green screen, obviously, and but did you make those costumes or like the Wonder Woman one? I thought looked great.
Oh no, no. Thank God for like Amazon and all these different places that you can find costumes because it's literally the best place to find all
Okay.
kinds of costumes that you need. So yeah, that's pretty much how that happened. And I'm very much into martial arts.
Oh, I
My
know
very
that.
first, yeah, my very first film
Oh,
that I did, Breaking News, that's how I got involved into the whole martial arts and stunts.
okay.
Really fell in love with it. So that's where my love for stunts and action, all that good stuff came about.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of martial arts is it that you do?
Oh my goodness, I do a variety. Taekwondo was what I was trained in for the film that I did with Breaking News. So that's pretty much what I like to stick with.
Okay.
So yeah, Taekwondo is definitely one of my favorites. My favorite move
Wow.
is the scissors kick.
Scissors kick. Can you demonstrate that for us?
Well, I'll explain it a little bit, but it's basically where you have a person standing and then you
Okay.
put one hand on the ground and you propel your whole body up and you wrap your legs around their stomach and then you just like bring them down to the ground.
Without tweaking your own back? How do
Exactly.
how do you do that without totally messing up your back?
That's where good training comes in. That's where good
Okay.
training comes in, where you're being trained by people in the martial arts who know what they're doing.
Okay.
So that's where great training comes in and being trained by martial artists who really know what they're doing.
Okay. So, would you use this in a real fight, or is it only just something you do in a movie? The scissors kick.
You know, the scissors kick is something that a person could absolutely use in a real fight. I feel like all
Okay.
martial arts moves are definitely you're able to use in real fights.
Oh,
But
okay.
for camera purposes, of course, they do it where it's done safely, where no one gets hurt.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's talk about that show. Like the stuff you did in there. Did you do any work with wires and things like that, or?
Not yet. I have not done any wire work yet. That is something that I want to definitely expand and do. So that is definitely on the list to start doing
Okay.
wire work because wire work I hear is absolutely amazing.
Right. That's kind of a lot of movies do that. Like I think probably The Matrix was the first movie that really
Mhm.
showed it a lot of wire work, but
Yeah.
there was also that movie, what was it called? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Was that what it was called?
So
There was
cool.
a movie out of China that was a really popular martial arts movie that also had a lot of wire work in it. I think it was
Wow.
called Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon, or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh,
Can't remember.
okay. Look at you, Matt.
Yeah.
You know your martial arts movies. That's awesome. Have you ever done martial arts yourself?
Um, I had a friend in high school who was really into Wing Chun Do, which
Oh,
is the
wow.
martial art of Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he taught me a little bit of it, and so that's we actually even went to a couple of martial art schools in
Hmm.
Seattle at the time.
Wow.
So
That's
he's really into it. He's
fabulous.
actually an instructor, And so I know a little bit about it through him.
Good. Well,
But
if you ever make your way, because I know you're here in LA a lot from time
uh-huh.
to time, so definitely check out the Academy Museum because they have a very nice section all about Bruce Lee and everything. So I think
Yeah.
that you would definitely enjoy that, and your friend too.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I believe Bruce Lee is buried in Seattle. I think he is.
Wow.
I know Jimi
That's
Hendrix is. That's we have a we have some big name people that are associated with Seattle. Besides
yes.
Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and those folks,
It's
you
awesome.
know, and the Seattle
Such great,
Supersonics.
amazing talent.
Yep. Though, dang it, we lost our quarterback for the Seahawks. So
Oh, that's unfortunate. Sorry to hear
now he
that.
throws for the Broncos. God dang it all.
Oh, sorry
But
to hear that.
yeah.
Well,
But we still love him anyway. At
yeah,
least
you
I
have
do.
to. You have to still love them and just, move everything forward. That's all that can be done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, now I'm going to ask a question. So you said you did a monologue for that competition. Could you
Yes.
tell us what the monologue was?
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. That monologue was definitely in the genre of mystery thriller at the
okay.
time. And it was actually a monologue that I wrote,
Oh, cool.
that I did.
Nice.
So I'm one of those kind of people that if I'm trying to look for material and I feel like it doesn't really speak to the artist that I am, a lot of
Uh-huh.
times I'll just write my own and I will perform that. So that's what
Okay.
I did for that particular expo. I wrote my own monologue and
Neat.
performed it, and it was in the mystery thriller realm. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what, like, if you were to describe in a nutshell the kind of artist that you are, like, what stuff really speaks to you?
I would definitely have to say that for me, I'm the kind of artist that likes to do projects that are outside of the box, that are not necessarily the norm. I
Okay.
like to do projects that are a bit bold and that are not the status quo. I love to give myself a great challenge.
Okay.
And I think that that is really awesome being an artist and being a storyteller is to be able to do things that um, is outside of yourself in a sense, but
Okay.
yet you find similarity within the storyline or
Mm-hmm.
within those characters because
Right.
I feel like everyone is connected in some way, shape, or form. They
Right.
just all have a different story, right?
Right.
So I love to do things that are outside of the box. I think that's so exciting and fun to me. So some of the
Okay.
genres that really speak to me, I would have to say are definitely mystery thriller,
Yeah.
sci-fi, fantasy, drama, and also music. So that's what stands out to me.
And if you can get something that includes all those things, that's even better.
I know if you can get something that has all of those things, that's even better, which is why it's probably a good idea just to maybe even create
Mm-hmm.
something that has all those things. So
Yeah.
that's a really great question. That's what I really like, things that are outside of the box and different and unique. I love things that are different and unique.
Okay. So well, I'm not going to ask you to recite that monologue, totally
Yeah,
unannounced,
that was
but
a while ago.
can you remember like what were the main hits or what the main points of that one that really gave it that edge that you like?
Of the monologue that I wrote,
Yeah.
I think that monologue, it was just primarily about not giving up, but it was in a mystery thriller type of situation.
So the person wasn't like sorry, I'm going to dig a little. So was the person like the victim or were they the private eye or were they a
They were actually
bystander
private eye.
or they were the
Private
private
eye.
eye?
Yes, private eye.
Okay.
Yes. Definitely not the victim.
Okay.
Private eye.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's a little unusual right off the bat to have a female private eye, right?
Yeah, I know. So I've always just loved things that are just different, that
Okay.
are outside of the box. So that's what I really love. That's what I gravitate towards.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Uh,
Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate it.
did you use your own voice or did you try to put on a accent, kind of a private eye
No,
accent
I
or
didn't try to put on an accent at that time. I
uh,
just used my own voice.
okay.
Hmm. I used my own voice and I didn't put on an accent at all for that particular monologue. At that time, I actually wasn't even doing accents at that time.
Right.
But yeah, it was really fun just to get creative. It was a lot of work,
Okay.
and then the dance that I choreographed, that too was a lot of work. I choreographed and danced to Destiny's Child's "Lose My Breath," which is a really great dance battle song. So yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
cool.
choreographed. I choreographed it to the chorus.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that on Instagram somewhere?
the
Any of
dance.
yeah, any of your dancing
I
stuff?
have dance videos on my Instagram too, and if anyone wants to follow me on Instagram to see my work videos, whether it be singing, dancing, acting, you can just
Click
follow
on the
me at
link below.
actress
Yeah.
Aungelique Scott, and Matt will definitely have a link for you.
Yeah, we'll put a link down there.
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Ah,
I love
that's
I love dance, singing, and acting. It's really my passion. I'm really grateful that my parents growing up really nurtured that. They could see
really.
it from the age of like 3 that I loved this, and they were always just very supportive. And
Oh,
I've done
that's
other
neat.
things. I've done other things, but I always came back to my love. I volunteered in hospitals and I was working around doctors and
Oh, really?
things like that and nurses. Yes, but that
Huh.
wasn't that wasn't where my passion was.
Hmm.
I was just always a creative, and
Right.
so I'm happy that my parents really were very supportive of that and nurtured that, and that I'm here today, still doing
Wow.
what I need to do and still being creative and still making it happen. And of course,
Wow.
it's not easy, but
Right.
when you have a passion for something, you keep going.
Well, yeah, I've kind of mostly because of this channel, I've gotten to know several actors. Some of them are in Space Command. They're quite successful TV actors like Ethan McDowell and Brian McClure. And yet, even those guys, they're doing auditions all the time, and they're
Hmm.
still kind of have to really be out there looking for work. Because
Yeah.
if you get a guest star on a TV show, like then you get paid really well that week. But
Hmm.
then if you don't have a gig the next week, then you're not getting a paycheck.
That's right. That's
So
exactly right. And I'm so happy for Ethan and Brian. They're really doing their thing in the
yeah,
Atlanta market and beyond. So I'm so proud of them and so happy for all of the wonderful blessings and opportunities that are coming their way because
yeah, and
very talented.
as you know, they're both super great guys.
They
So
are.
they're
They're
so
they're amazing.
friendly, so open hearted. Really, really fun to hang out with.
They are. I'm
Uh,
glad you got a chance to meet them too after, was it after the premiere or you got
yeah,
a chance
did
to
you
meet
hear
them
about?
at the
Yeah,
premiere?
I ate lunch with them before
Yeah.
the red carpet. Mark set it
Did
up.
you?
Yeah, well, Mark, he kind of blew me away, actually. I mean, he invited me out to lunch right at the last second, and I wasn't even sure if I told him I can't, I'm flying in. I don't even think I'm going to be there before 2 o'clock, so I can do a late lunch if you're available. And he said, yeah, okay. Just meet me at such and such a restaurant. So I show up there. There's Mark, Elaine, which is Mark's wife, and Brian and Ethan. That's it.
Oh my
I'm like,
goodness.
I recognize these guys from the show. And I was like, whoa, this already made the trip. I haven't even gone to the red carpet yet, but
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
like,
I'm glad you got a chance to meet them. That's
yeah.
wonderful.
And it was like, yeah. So then, of course, I interviewed both of them since then, and we've gotten to know each other quite well since then. So they're just really great guys. I
That's
should put a
great. That's
pitch for Brian's movie. In other words,
definitely
we
go check it out, everyone. Please,
yeah,
definitely check it
it's
out and be
super good.
supportive.
I watched it twice,
Good.
and
That's
like
awesome.
I'm on the I've been behind the scenes lighting a fire under both Brian and the producer, Patrick Perez Vidori,
Oh,
to say,
wow.
hey,
That's
you guys have
awesome.
to promote this movie. It's just, it came out during the pandemic, so they never actually got a theatrical premiere. It just came out on streaming. So
Wow.
it just sort of faded into nothing, but it's a super good movie.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
So I'm
very
trying to
happy
get
for
them
him.
to jumpstart it and just start like a social media campaign and get it going. So
Yes,
it's super
absolutely.
good.
That's a great idea. That's a
Yeah.
great idea. And Brian's so talented. So, absolutely. I'm happy for everyone. Everyone who's out there making it happen. Good for you. Keep going. Keep
Yeah.
doing your
Well, it's cool too. I mean, like we all kind of have this Space Command connection now, and Space Command has some pretty well-known actors in it, like Doug Jones and Robert Picardo. I mean, if you're into
Yeah,
Star Trek, you totally know who those guys are. And Mia
definitely.
Furlan, it was like one of her last things she did before she died. You
Yes,
know,
really tragic.
yeah,
Doug Jones, Robert Ricardo, Mira, all of whom I've had the opportunity of meeting in person and working with, are all really just amazing. And when we lost Mira, that was really just tragic and such a shock.
I know it
We were
just came
not
out of the blue.
planning it. It came out of the blue.
Yeah,
Um, so she's definitely dear to all of us and greatly missed. And her legacy continues on. I wish the absolute best and my deepest condolences to her and her family.
yeah,
Regarding Doug Jones and Robert Picardo, they're both really quite fabulous individuals.
yeah,
And the scene that they have in Space Command is quite touching. And
yeah,
not to mention, they're just both really amazing people. Really
mm,
amazing people.
yeah, yeah. I saw them both at Star Trek Las Vegas. I mean, basically, I stood in line and got their autograph. You know, so and it was funny. Doug is insane. Have you seen how he interacts with the fans?
I
He
have.
is just he gives them hugs and kisses and
I
does all
know.
this stuff.
I know.
If they want it, of course. And of course I did. I asked for it for sure. And so I think the thing about Space Command is that that's the show. It's the only movie I know so far where you get to see Doug Jones's face and
Mhm.
get to see, and he's such a great actor. Like
Yes, he
he is so
is.
good in episode one of Space Command as the
Yeah, he's
android.
great. He's
So
amazing.
I think that's one of the things that makes it really special is get to see him play that role.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
so great. He's such a great talent and an amazing human being.
that's cool.
And
Well,
so
now I have a
is
question. Okay, back to Space
Robert
Command.
Picardo is too.
Oh yeah, yeah. We know him as the holographic doctor in Space Command.
Yes, yes, yes,
He's
yes.
gets to play a different role. Also, he also sings. I don't know if you know that.
He does sing. I know. I do know he sings. He's become a great friend. And so
Oh,
he's
good.
Robert Picardo is fantastic.
Cool. Well, he has a lot of comedic talent too, because
He does.
at Star Trek Las Vegas, he did like a little Broadway show one night for a gala event where it was him and a buddy of his basically sang a bunch of duets and did sort of a comedy routine, Broadway style, And then he also showed some videos from his YouTube channel,
Wow.
like where he plays Alfonso,
Yes, he
you
plays
know,
Alfonso.
yeah, and other stuff. So quite a
He's
character
great.
he is.
He's great. He's
Yeah,
so great.
that's cool. And he also, Robert Picardo also guest starred on the Orville.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He did really well.
Robert Ricardo, he's one of those kind of people that you come across who are just very rare.
Hmm.
Not only is he incredibly and extraordinarily talented, but he's also someone who has such a good heart.
Oh,
He's a
that's good.
really great soul. And yeah, I'm
That's
very
really good to
blessed
know.
to know him.
Because at Star Trek convention, actually, to tell you the truth, he was, by the time I talked to him, it was near the end of the day, and he was pretty much wiped out. You could tell he's really tired, and he was really trying to save his voice because he knew he had to sing that night. And,
Wow.
but it was in the vendor room, and everybody was wearing masks, and it's super loud in there. There's so much background noise. So you have to pretty much shout to get heard. So doing that all day with fans that are signing autographs and want to chit chat with you
Yeah.
as was I could see that it kind of took its toll on him.
Yes,
So
he's amazing. I can't
yeah,
say enough good things about Robert Picardo. He's incredible.
I'm actually
He's
hoping to
incredible.
interview him on Pranakasha Productions. He said he
Awesome.
would do it, but we haven't
Awesome.
actually set it up yet. So we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild. Um, all right, so back to Space Command. Have you shot your scenes yet? The scenes that you're going to be in?
I have not shot my scenes yet.
Okay, so they're up and coming. Okay.
So they're up and coming. They're actually still developing my character.
Oh, okay.
And Yes, I will be in The Great Solar War, which is the third episode.
Okay, episode 3.
And yes, episode three, The Great Solar War.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So there will be more on that when the time comes, for sure.
Okay. And you're going to play the daughter of Nathaniel Freeman, right?
Yes. I will
Okay.
be playing the daughter of Nathaniel Freeman. My character's name is Lieutenant Delaney Chilton.
Cool. Well, it just so happens, believe it or not, Nathaniel called me right while I was parking my car and about to go get my hair cut, and he calls me and he's like, because Brian hooked me up with them. And
Yes.
we talked a bit. We were basically setting up an interview like this that we're going to do in a couple weeks. So there we go. We got a connection there too.
Good, good. Nathaniel,
Yeah.
he's another really great and talented artist and actor.
Yeah.
So I always have so much fun with Nathaniel every
Yeah.
time we're together. So I'm so excited about us filming The Great Solar War together, along with Nathaniel, Ethan, Brian. We're all excited for that day when that day comes.
Yeah. It's going to be cool. Yeah. Yeah. The other funny story with Nathaniel was that the day of the red carpet, um, I basically just flew in for a day. So I basically had everything that I needed in my backpack, including a pair of kind of fancy shoes. I've got like these really colorful blue, red and yellow and green and whatever shoes that I was going to wear to the red carpet.
Yes.
But the rest of the day I was wearing Birks. So I was sitting down there. I found a corner, right at the bottom of the escalator at the theater. And I was like, well, where can I change out of these shoes? And I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to sit right here next to this wall and change my shoes.
Oh my
And right when I
goodness.
was changing them, Nathaniel walks by, and he goes, nice shoes, man. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. And neither of us knew that we were both going to the red carpet. So then later I saw him there and he was like, so,
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
yeah.
I love that you both had that moment prior to the
Yeah.
red year. That's actually very excellent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that seems to be like the whole vibe for Space Command. It's just like a big happy family. So everybody seems to be really cool, and happy to do it and everything. So that's a neat thing.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And that definitely, goes to credit for, of course, Mark and Elaine for sure for creating it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
they're good
sticking with it.
people.
I mean, it's been a long project. It's been going on for, I
Hmm.
think, since 2017 or 2016.
I think it's been going on since 2012, I believe.
Oh, 2012. Okay. Wow. 10 years. Wow. That's a long project.
Yeah, it's been going on
So,
since 2012.
yep.
And Mark and Elaine, they have kept it going, which I think is really great. I think they've accomplished a lot given, they are in the independent world.
Hmm.
So being in the independent world, of course, is never the easiest world to be in,
Right.
especially in Hollywood. But Mark and Elaine have kept it going. And I think throughout the years, they've also had the opportunity of working with good people and
Hmm.
like-minded people who've helped them, along the way.
Yeah.
So good for them. Good for
Well, it's
them.
like, I mean, like a lot of indie films, I mean, you don't have a huge budget. So you have to, if you're going to attract high quality actors and people on the production team and everything like that, I mean, it's kind of like Star Trek back in the day when Gene Roddenberry was going around
Mhm.
drumming up support for it. You just have to be able to
Absolutely.
have a vision for one thing and
Hmm.
be able to communicate it, which Mark is really good at,
He's
you
very good
know.
at that. Yes, he's
And
very
so
hating it.
that's it. I mean, then you got people on board. They're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because they believe in the project.
Hmm.
So I think that's what makes it special.
Yeah, I think it makes it
Um,
special when you have people that are passionate about the project and it's not about the money, it's simply
yeah,
about passion. So it makes a difference.
yeah, yeah, totally does. So I'm looking forward. So now I know they're working on episode 2, but episode 2 has been shot, right? Is
Not
it
all of
done?
it. but they're almost finished. They're
okay.
almost finished with episode 2.
Okay.
They've had some filmings in the beginning of the year. And yeah, so they're working on that right
Okay.
now,
So they're currently shooting that episode.
which is
Okay.
Space Command Forgiveness. The one that is pretty much complete is the one that was premiered for the
The
red
red
carpet
carpet
premiere, which is
redemption.
Space Command Redemption.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one that is completed, and the DVDs and Blu-rays for that will be out shortly.
So, okay, I better spill the beans. Folks, I did get a super secret tour of the Space Command set. So, and in fact, Mark and Angelique were both there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got a chance to get that
did.
tour.
It's fun. Well, the funniest thing was just that morning, I had just done a tour of the Warner Brothers lot.
Did you?
Have you ever done that?
I have. I love Warner Brothers. Oh my goodness. Warner Brothers was the first studio that I actually got a chance to have a TV credit from. I was on the reel. And it was Stage 8. I'll never forget that moment in time. I love Warner Brothers Studios. They're great.
Yeah, okay, let's go there for a bit. So basically what we did was you buy tickets, and it's a tour that you do, and you got a tour guide, and they drive you around in a in a little tour bus, which is kind of a amped up golf cart, basically. It holds like 10 people. And you drive around these fake city blocks and stuff, and you see these buildings and houses and stuff. Some of them are full-blown buildings and houses. Others are just facades. And then the tour guide starts rattling off all the different movies that use such and such a building, And it's like, the one I remember the most is they showed us this lagoon. And she said basically any movie or any TV show that ever has a lagoon, almost guaranteed it was shot right here. So it was fascinating to see. It didn't hit me home until that day how well they've learned how to recycle sets, and just use stuff over and over again, even in big, giant $1 million, multi-million-dollar movies.
Yes.
They'll just go over to the Warner Brothers lot and find a building that's going to work and shoot it right there.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you got a chance to get that tour while you're in town.
It was a blast.
That's great.
The other thing that really stuck in my mind was they showed us most of the sound stages. We would just drive by and they would say such and such a show was shot at this sound stage, such and such a show was shot there. But then they stopped at sound stage, I forget the name of it, whatever number it is, where they shot all of Big Bang Theory, the entire run of Big Bang Theory.
Amazing.
Yeah. And there's a plaque on the outside.
Mike and Molly too. Did you get a chance to see that stage where they filmed Mike and Molly and Pretty Little Liars? I know they're there too. They were there.
The only one they let us go inside and actually see the inside was the one that used to be Big Bang Theory. Now it's another show and I forget what it is.
See?
But the thing that was so cool is they went in, there was a bunch of interior sets, and there was like 7 rooms worth of sets in there. But the way they did it is they had them on this weird accordion type of thing where like we walked in and we were in a room, but then there was like 6 more rooms that were all crunched up, maybe 8 down to like maybe 8 feet wide.
Wow.
And then when they wanted to use that set, they would open it up to full size and then put some furniture in it or dress it up a little bit more, and then it would be ready to roll.
That's amazing.
It was really wild.
That's amazing. And prior to the pandemic, I think that you probably would have really enjoyed this at Warner Brothers, and I believe Paramount too. They would have it where you could watch one of the sitcom shows, the multicam shows, live as an audience member and be able to see it. And that would have been a really great experience too for you.
That would be fun.
So hopefully they'll bring it back.
Well, apparently Big Bang Theory was set up like that. But by the time we went in there, they had torn down all those sets and taken out all the seats for the audience. So it's just completely different inside now. But yeah.
Did you get a chance to take pictures?
They would not let us take pictures inside that set. But once when we were out in the golf cart, we could take lots of pictures of the exterior stuff.
Wow,
So it was
great.
really fun.
Great. I'm glad you had that experience. Nothing
Yeah,
like it, right?
I know. I know. And so I was already in that mode. And then after that, we went and saw the Space Command set. So I could see how, like, I can look at a set and even the fancy sets at Warner Brothers and stuff, when you see them up close, you can see all the flaws in it and everything. It looks like a set. It doesn't look real because you're right there looking at everything. But on camera, it looks great,
Yes,
because
that's
they've
great.
learned they know what they need to do to make it look good on camera.
Hmm.
And then they know they don't waste any more effort trying to make it look any more real than it needs to look. It's
Hmm.
just very utilitarian. So I already knew like that. So when I got to see the Space Command sets and Mark was showing me all his props and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, this is cool. I can totally see how when you open this up, get the lights set up and cameras going, it's going to look cool. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, it's really, it's fun. It's just so fun to be involved in this kind of stuff,
It
being
is
around creative
very
people,
fun. I
you know.
know. It's the
Yeah,
best being around creative people and doing what you love. And when you have that passion and you're surrounded
yeah,
by other people who have that passion, it really just makes it's like magical. It's
it
really
is.
magical.
It is. And you can see why people, like, again, okay, we'll talk about Mark a little bit. I mean, the guy's like constantly working around the clock. He's got like such a huge schedule, and he seems to have unlimited energy, you know, even though like, he's in his 60s, but he doesn't seem to be planning to retire anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty inspirational,
Yes,
right
absolutely.
there. And
Absolutely.
obviously, he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it just because he loves doing it, you know?
Hmm.
So,
And that
that,
goes back to people doing the things that they love because they have a passion for it.
yeah,
And when it's all about passion and when you're doing something that you love, you don't feel like you're working a day in your life, to be honest. You're
true.
excited about the day. You're excited about what's to come because you're doing what you love to do. It's
Right.
what kind of drives you, right? So
Exactly.
I think when you're doing what you love and when there's that passion, it's
Yeah.
magical.
And also, I mean, Mark, just like Rod Serling or any other sci-fi writers, there's also like a message that he's delivering that's actually more than just telling a cool little story. There's a really human message to, humanity and the hope for humankind and for planet Earth and everything. That's there too.
Hmm.
So, in fact, that is probably the driving force of what makes him so passionate about his project.
Hmm.
So,
I agree. I
yeah,
agree 100%.
yeah,
Hopeful vision of the future for sure.
yep, yeah. That's wild. Wow. So I'm like, I remember you also told me that you also play bass guitar.
Yes, I played the bass guitar when I was in jazz band, and I played the viola when I was
Right.
in the orchestra in school. And of course, I was part of choir when I was in school. So
Mm-hmm.
my favorite instrument, though, I will be honest, I love the drums. I just
Ah,
love making beats. I love the beats.
wow.
It's kind of like I don't know what it is about the drums, but it's just being able to make that beat to help everything else. I've always loved that. I love the drums.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, the bass guitar was definitely something that I played in jazz band. And that was actually where I was able to explore playing by ear.
Okay.
So my jazz teacher, he was really a great jazz teacher. He
Okay.
would allow me to sometimes go off of the reading music and just kind of like improvise with whatever I was hearing.
Okay.
And I would do that. And it allowed me so much freedom in my creativity. It was
Mm-hmm.
so much fun.
Right.
I loved improvising and just kind of like adding what I could in jazz band because you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
do that with jazz music.
Right.
And I loved it so much. So I really had a wonderful time
Yeah,
playing by
that's
ear
neat.
and being creative.
Well, of course, you probably know this, but like people say, if you got a rock band or a jazz band or pop band, the band isn't worth anything unless the drummer and the bass player are good. If you don't
Yes.
got that, you don't got a band.
That's true. Yeah, I've heard that saying.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's true.
Well, I've experienced it myself too. Like,
Mhm.
I played violin in a lot of different bands,
Wow.
and again, when your bass player is good and your drummer is good, it is so much fun to play
Oh, it's so
because you
fun.
just got that groove happening, you know,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
just all the energy's there and everything's there. But if those guys, if either of those aren't on, it's a total drag because, nothing never gets really happening.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
yeah.
So you've experienced it yourself, so
In
you know the
fact,
importance of the bass and drums.
just this morning at church, we have a praise band at the church I go to,
Oh,
and we got a really
wow.
good bass player named Jeremy.
Wow.
And every time I talk to him, I'm always heaping praise on him. And we also got a guy who plays cajon, which is like that little box thing that you just sort of hit with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty good at it too. So it's we don't use a full blown drum set. For one thing, it would be too dang loud.
Wow.
Thank goodness we don't,
Awesome.
at least at that church. But the cajon works great. And then we got a great bass player and really good guitars and everything. It's just really fun.
It's awesome. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming the soloist too, like when everything meshes together, it's just beautiful. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. And that's one thing that we don't really get in classical. Like, I'm sure when you play viola, we're trained just to read the music and
Right.
interpret the music as best we can, which
Yes.
when you take that to a really high level, it's really exciting. It's like
Yes.
being an actor where you're given certain lines and then you have to breathe life into those lines.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it's like in classical music. You're given the notes and how loud they should be and how fast they should be, but then you have to breathe the life into them. And it can be a beautiful experience to do that.
I
But
agree.
you don't get to make up the notes. But in
Yes. No.
jazz, you do. And in
In
pop,
jazz, you
you
do.
do too.
That's what
So
makes
that
it
can
so
be really
wonderful.
fun
It's
when
so
you're
fun.
actually on the spot making up solos,
Mm-hmm.
like typically when you're playing in jazz or like in this band we played in at church, you'll have a chart that shows you maybe the melody and the words that the singer's singing, and then basically a bunch of guitar chords under it. And then it's just up to you to understand what notes belong to what chord, and then you can make up your own thing that fits
Mm-hmm.
into that song based on that's what you get.
Yes,
And
it does. It makes it wonderful when you're able to collaborate and improvise.
yeah, it's a blast.
It's a
And
blast.
that's
It's so fun.
sadly, classical musicians are never taught how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
In your jazz class, I'm sure they taught you how to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee your viola teacher never did, right?
No, with orchestra, it was strictly you have your music in front of you, your sheet music, and you play what's on the
What's
sheet
on the
music.
page?
Play
Yeah.
what's on the page. But with jazz band, yes, I had my music a lot of times, but then we just had a really cool jazz band teacher where he would allow improvisation from time to time. And if it
Mm-hmm.
worked, he's like, keep that in there. So it was so fun being able
Right.
to improvise like that and just kind of add what I was hearing needed to be
Mm-hmm.
added or just having fun with it. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Which, by the way, Angelique and I are hatching a plan.
Yes, we
We
are.
want to create a Space Command band. Remember that?
I thought we were going to do a Space Command theme song.
Okay, but we have to have a Space Command band to play it, right?
Maybe, maybe,
Okay.
maybe. Well, we would have to probably get the main music person who's overall the music for Space Command. We would
Yeah.
have to definitely include him in that, which I think he
Yeah.
would probably have a lot of fun with, David Rakelin.
Yeah.
So
We could do that.
yeah, we could do that for sure. But
Yeah.
that should be very exciting to do.
Well, if we do it live, we have to have a band if we're doing it live.
Yeah, I was thinking we were going to do it recorded. Then
Yeah, we can.
So we'll
We'll
definitely
figure
talk
it
more about
out.
the details. We'll figure it out for sure. I think it's going to be exciting though,
Yeah.
whatever we come up
Okay. Well, if we do it in the studio, then that means that you'd be able to play bass
with.
and you
Ooh,
could
it
sing.
does. It
I,
does.
I could play violin, viola, and cello, and then you could also play a viola track if you wanted to.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be amazing.
Yep. And then who knows who else? I mean, there's got to be other people that are singers or musicians on the cast or on the crew that we just
Oh,
don't even know yet.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
And absolutely. We definitely have to do something. So we'll definitely figure that out for sure. That'll be fun.
yep, we
That will
got
be
a
fun.
plan. Oh
We got a
boy,
plan. We do. Because I love
yeah.
recording. I love recording and I love all of that stuff. And for those who don't know, I actually have a podcast too called
Oh,
the
I know
Hollywood
that.
Spotlight Podcast. And it's basically where I interview people in the entertainment industry from showrunners to, casting directors.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I definitely
Okay,
love
let's put that in the description too. So,
recording.
Angelique's podcast in the
Yes.
description.
The Hollywood Spotlight Podcast. It's on Spotify. And there's a lot coming up. So it's very exciting. Very
Oh, that's
exciting.
neat. Okay, cool. Well, I'm learning all these things about you.
I know.
Do you still have
I
your
know.
viola?
Oh yes, I still have my
Oh,
viola. It's not here in LA with me. I still have my bass and viola.
oh,
Neither
cool.
one are
Okay.
in LA with me, but whenever I go back home in Ohio, I always bring it out and play it.
So you can pick it up. You can pick up your viola and you can still play.
Yes, I can.
Oh,
I
cool.
don't read music necessarily, but I
Hmm.
do just like pick it up and just play it from time to time. I come from a musical family. Like my brother, he plays piano, and my other brother, he played viola. My other sister, she played saxophone. My other brother played the trumpet. So we naturally, whenever we get together for the holidays, especially, we
So we already have a pre-built Space Command band,
oh,
which is
I
your
don't know.
family.
I don't know. They're kind of all doing their own, professional things
Are
and
they
with
all? Is everybody
professional
scattered
lives.
around the world now, or are most people still in
Yeah,
Ohio? Or
they live in different places around the U.S.
okay,
So, but I'm very grateful for all of them.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
all these possibilities.
Yes, there's a lot of possibilities indeed.
That's
It's very
neat.
exciting. It's very exciting. So we will see what we come up with that we then can
Okay.
share with everyone.
All right. All right. Back to your acting. So, what do you like? Pie in the sky. What kind of roles would you like to see yourself in within the next 5 years or so?
Hmm. That's a good question. I I definitely see myself in leading lady roles for
Okay.
sure. Um, I always love to say that I definitely see myself playing Queen Nefertiti. I
Oh.
think would be really, really quite wonderful. I love period pieces too.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely something like that. But a career that spans where I'm able to do work that is meaningful, work
Okay.
that means something. So I think for me, being able to read scripts and stories that mean something,
Mm-hmm.
that ultimately can inspire people, that can ultimately encourage people, that can leave a positive, lasting effect on people, are the kind of roles and stories that I personally would love to be part of in any given
Yeah.
genre. So,
Well, when you did your cosplay thing,
yeah.
did somebody help you create that, or did you do the whole thing yourself?
Oh, yes, I definitely always have help creating different things.
Okay.
So I had help creating that, but I am getting more and more into editing myself. I'm learning that,
Okay.
and I'm learning more about editing. I'm, of course, writing, but I have to be in a very quiet space to write.
Okay.
So, yes, I'm learning to kind of learn it and do it on my own, to be honest.
Okay. So
That's
I'm
kind of
assuming
what
that was all done on a green screen, right? That
That
cosplay.
was done on partially green screen, but also there's an app that a person can actually create different things with. So it's actually really fun.
Okay. Cool. Because if you know how to do that, I mean, and then if you know how to write scripts yourself, especially if it's something that's a monologue or something, then you can kind of write your own ticket. I mean, you can
absolutely,
open your own YouTube channel.
There's ideas flowing. There's definitely ideas flowing around that I am writing down and just haven't put out or shared it yet with anyone, because it needs more development before I do that. But there's definitely ideas that are cooking.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
I even write scenes. I've always loved writing. I've been writing since I was 7, and my parents always knew that I've loved writing too. I like to write extensively.
Oh,
so but when
I get diaries or just plays and things, or short stories, or
like short stories. I also write, of course, in my diaries.
Okay.
I have more than one. I have more than one diary, but I definitely write in my diaries, and I write short stories. I write scenes. I write monologues. And then when I'm in a really quiet space, I like to write songs.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's really neat.
Exciting just to create it all and just do what it is that I love to do, and always working every single day, building on my craft daily, because it's a daily thing to be able to do. Just like athletes, they practice their sport, whatever it is, they practice it every single day. Just like LeBron James, he practices every single day, even though he's such an outstanding, one of the greatest players of all time.
Right.
But Serena and Venus Williams, they practice and practice and practice, and I mean, both legends. So I'm always forever practicing my craft on a daily basis, and growing and getting better and better, and surrounding myself with like-minded artists.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm getting all kinds of ideas. So exciting. Yeah, I'm happy to share. If you ever get a crazy idea, and somehow you think that my channel can somehow help you with it or whatever,
thank you.
Let me know, and we'll.
I really appreciate it, Matt. It's so greatly appreciated indeed. Thank you so much again for having me on here and talking. I know that my episode isn't out yet, but I really appreciate you having me on even prior. This is like a pre,
Well, now I know you do all this stuff, inside and outside of Space Command. For example, I mean, I really know how to do green screen stuff really well, because I've got besides these interviews, I also have a fan series that I do, a Star Trek fan series that's 100% green screen stuff, and it's basically sort of cosplaying, because I'm like the captain. This is my uniform here.
Look at you, Matt. Yeah, I love it.
and but then what I do is I take clips from the old shows, and then I put myself and other actors in it, and then create a new script around it, and do it all with the green screen. But I figured out how to do it really well, so it looks good. It doesn't look fake.
That's awesome. Another person, if you ever need help, another person who I would highly recommend, if you ever need any help with editing or anything like that, is definitely Dave Edison. He's a genius.
Oh yeah, Dave. Dave and I have been sending emails back and forth now.
Oh, okay, good.
Mostly because of the silver edition. That just came out on the website. The
silver edition of Space Command, and I think you did a really wonderful job with that. Really well done.
It was
a great idea. Great idea.
I mean, it wasn't that hard. It was just like you go to Premiere Pro, turn off the saturation, and now you got black and white, and then tweak the brightness and contrast to where you like it, press a button, and then let it grind away for an hour or so, and it's done.
Well, what I really liked is that it really brought back the classic feel in sci-fi. So that was really wonderful to see. That was a great idea. It was great to see Space Command. Silver Space Command. Yeah, it was great to see that.
I think it's perfect for the genre, to see it in black and white, because it just gives it such a different feel. And plus, Mark is the Twilight Zone guy, which is all black and white. So, so far it's doing good. I saw that it's already got over 2,000 views, and they just posted it like a day or two ago. So we'll see what other
Congratulations.
people
That's
think of it.
wonderful, Matt.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, the cool thing is that you can watch it either way because they also have the full color Technicolor version too.
They
And
do. I saw that one.
oh, it's
And
cool
the black
too.
and white one though, it's something different. It's something
Yeah.
fresh. It's something new. Gives a
It
different perspective,
it
different
really
look, you know?
does. I mean, it really changes it. But it like if you're into old movies or because the reason why I thought of it is because Mark is really into Twilight Zone, which is all black and white. And
Mm-hmm.
then he also talked about how he liked The Outer Limits. And then he
Yeah.
used to watch like Flash Gordon, all these classic
Mm-hmm.
sci-fi shows that have sort of a tongue-in-cheek, almost almost corny thing to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see some of that in Space Command. And like
Mm-hmm.
in the color version, I think it sort of detracts from it. But in the black and white version, it's like, oh, it works perfect in black and white because now we know we're in this kind of retro genre, and then
Yes.
it seems like it works really well. That's why I got the
Yes.
idea.
I think it's very fun. It's
Yeah.
a fresh perspective and look for Space Command. So I think that your idea was very fun, and it was nice that Mark shared it too on his
I
Mr.
know.
Sci page. It was
That was
great.
great.
Hmm.
Yeah. And we got a lot of good comments on that video already too. Other people that really dig it
Wow.
in black and white. So
Congratulations. That's
yeah,
excellent.
cool.
That's excellent.
Well, it's another
See,
opportunity. Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah.
See, just
Sometimes
being
it's just
creative.
like having it was a pretty simple idea, but
Hmm.
then, you know, then just go for it, and put it out there.
And
See
you
what happens.
did.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations. It's getting great reviews, I think.
Yeah.
So, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. If anybody
Awesome.
needs their movie converted to black and white, just call me. I got really good rates. Like I said, I mean,
Matt,
it's
Matt
basically
can
it's
do
the
the job.
concept. The concept is what it was. I mean, the actual doing of it is easy. It's just like I literally move the slider that way on saturation and then tweak the brightness and contrast a little bit until you get it to where you like it and then press render.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think it's a really fun idea,
Yeah.
and it's great.
Yeah. That's cool. Wow. So I'm trying to think to wrap it up because I think you said you
Yes.
needed to be done by 2 o'clock.
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're right at 2:03, so we're already
Yes.
over. I'm gonna have to pay you overtime, I guess.
That's so funny.
So how should we wrap it up?
You know what? Let's wrap it up. I know a perfect way of wrapping it up.
Okay.
Let's just wrap it up. I will leave the links of where people can follow me, but also because every day is a celebration, someone's always celebrating something, whether it's a birthday, something. So to close it out, I can sing happy birthday to whoever's tuning in. How about that?
Okay, sounds great.
I'll do it a cappella. Okay.
Can I conduct? Hold on.
You're going to conduct. I don't know. Are you sure you want to conduct, or should I just sing it?
You're just gonna sing and I'll pretend like I'm conducting. Yeah.
You'll follow me.
Because Zoom has a certain. Sometimes there's a thing. Yeah. So I'm just conducting for show here. Okay, wait.
Perfect. So before we sing, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Matt, again for having me. And for those of you who want to follow me and find out what I'm going to be up to, what's next, Instagram, actress Aungelique Scott, definitely follow me there. And my actress Facebook artist page to stay abreast on what I have coming up and what's going on. Follow me at actress Aungelique Scott on Facebook. Click the like button, okay? And to those of you celebrating a birthday today or this month or whenever, this is for you, okay?
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Bravo.
Bye, everyone. Pranakasha production.
fantastic creations emerging spontaneously from the space of life.
For the benefit of all beings everywhere.
We gotta